I never thought a simple school lockdown would lead to the most terrifying experience of my life. As a high school student, I always imagined lockdown drills as just another tedious exercise, something to fill the time until the bell rang. But on that fateful day, everything changed. It started as a normal Tuesday, with the sun shining brightly through the classroom windows. Little did we know, darkness was lurking just around the corner. The day began like any other, filled with the usual banter and laughter. My friends and I were in history class, where Mr. Johnson was passionately explaining the rise and fall of ancient civilizations. I barely paid attention, distracted by my phone buzzing with messages from friends. Suddenly, the shrill sound of the school intercom broke through the chatter, announcing a lockdown drill. "Students, please remain calm. Lock your doors and turn off the lights," the voice crackled. We exchanged nervous glances, but Mr. Johnson quickly took charge. "Everyone, let's follow the protocol," he instructed, locking the door and drawing the blinds. The room fell silent as we huddled together in the corner, whispering about the drill. After a few minutes, the intercom crackled again, but this time the message was different. "This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. Lockdown in place. Lock all doors." Then, a loud bang echoed from the hallway, causing us to jump. It sounded like something heavy had fallen. "Stay quiet," Mr. Johnson hissed, peering through the blinds. The fear in his eyes mirrored our own. I could hear my heart thumping in my chest, a steady drumbeat of dread. We sat in silence, each passing minute amplifying our fears. The sounds from the hallway grew chaotic: shouts, footsteps, and something that sounded like crying. The tears welled up in Sarah's eyes, and I reached out to squeeze her hand, trying to provide some comfort. Just when I thought the noise couldn't get any worse, I heard a faint whisper coming from the door, barely audible over the chaos outside. "Let me in, please." It was a child's voice, trembling and filled with desperation. My stomach dropped. There were no younger kids in our high school. I looked at Mr. Johnson, who was frozen in place, eyes wide. "Who is that?" someone asked, barely containing their panic. "I don't know," he whispered back, shaking his head. The whispering continued, growing louder. "Please, I'm scared. Let me in." "I don't know," he whispered back, shaking his head. The whispering continued, growing louder. "Please, I'm scared. Let me in." It sent chills down my spine. I wanted to yell that we needed to call for help, but the words wouldn't come. Instead, I crept toward the door, my curiosity battling my fear. Peering through the tiny window, I saw nothing but darkness in the hallway, just shadows dancing against the walls. The whispers persisted, growing more frantic. "Please, I don't want to be alone." Suddenly, a loud thud reverberated through the door, making us all jump. "Stop it. Leave us alone," I shouted, my voice cracking. Silence fell for a moment, then came a low, guttural laugh that echoed through the hallway. "You can't hide. I'll find you." Fear clutched at my throat as I stepped back from the door, terror gripping my heart. My friends huddled closer, and I could feel their bodies trembling beside me. The room was growing colder, and the air felt heavy. Suddenly, the lights flickered, and the room plunged into darkness. Gasps erupted around me as panic swept through the group. I fumbled for my phone, praying for a glimmer of light, but it remained dead. We heard the sound of footsteps, slow and deliberate, approaching our door. I pressed my back against the wall, eyes darting to my friends, whose faces reflected sheer terror. "Stay quiet," Mr. Johnson urged, his voice barely a whisper. The footsteps stopped just outside our door. Then came a soft knock, followed by that same child's voice. "Please, I'm lost. Let me in." Every instinct screamed at me to run, but I couldn't move. My heart raced as the knocking became frantic, the whispers turning into wails. Please, don't leave me here. Just when I thought I couldn't take it anymore, the intercom crackled back to life. This is a lockdown situation. Remain in your rooms. Help is on the way. Relief washed over me, but it was short-lived as the footsteps began to retreat down the hallway. My heart sank when I heard the laughter again, echoing into the distance. After what felt like an eternity, the school doors finally swung open, and police officers flooded the building. "Is everyone all right?" one officer asked as they burst into our classroom. We all nodded, still trembling in shock. But as I looked back toward the door, I noticed something that made my blood run cold. There on the floor, where the child's voice had begged to be let in, was a small, worn-out teddy bear, stained and torn. This chilling story serves as a haunting reminder of the unknown that can lurk within familiar places. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe for more spine-tingling tales. Until next time, stay vigilant